The best in the world.
No restrictions,
A lot of words.
40% from currency.
So, it's easy. Not in rubles. A rotten apple.
I don't speak Russian.
Rules will be eased. I'm so proud of him.
Trying my best, you see. And
dad jokes.
a fast track.
You're a friendly investor.
Trust yourself, trust in Russia.
Today we're talking about investments in Russia and why they are going to be one biggest future trend. Name is Katerin, and we have Stepan and Oleg in the studio. All three of us are international lawyers with background in finance, and we will tell you today how to handle investments in Russia with legal expertise. Stepan, hey again, how are you?
Yes, Catherine. Thank you. I had quite a week actually, but I'm all right. Thank you for inviting us. So, of course, there are some nuances, but Russia remains open for business. So today's conversation will be about cutting through the noise, understanding what these new rules actually mean for investors.
Okay, let's get straight into it. Before we dive into the opportunities, we need to set the stage and explain the basics. Could you briefly explain what are counter-sanction regulations in Russia?
Yes, Catherine, sure. The Russian government has introduced a specific framework dividing the foreign investors into different categories. For so-called friendly jurisdictions, the rules are favorable. And it's important because, like I call it, a fast track, like in an airport.
So, first, for our audience who may not be familiar with the term friendly jurisdiction, what does it mean? What's the difference between friendly and unfriendly jurisdiction under Russian law?
Actually, I'll take this one. It's very straightforward. So there are friendly and unfriendly jurisdictions. For persons from friendly jurisdictions, the rules are practically the same as for the Russian citizens. No restrictions and no limitations. Companies and individuals from those countries get practically the same access to transactions, can open accounts, and operate without any constraints. Unfriendly jurisdictions, on the other hand, face government commission approvals and delays. Think of it as two queues, one with tough face control and long wait, and another a VIP line where things move quickly.
Right. And it's also important to mention that there are no list of friendly jurisdictions, only the so-called unfriendly ones. It means that if your country is not on the list, then it deemed to be a friendly one, and the favorable rules, as I mentioned, no restrictions, no additional requirements.
Yes, Oleg is completely right. We will post the link to the list in the description and in our Telegram channel.
Thanks, guys. That is helpful distinction. But of course, every investor is thinking about risk. What exactly should investors take into consideration when entering the Russian market?
Yeah, right. The Russian regulation is complex, that's for sure, but manageable. And your assets and they're secured if you have a good structure in place.
Good point. So with that in mind, let's flip to the opportunity sides. What are the key industries to look into if you're foreign investors?
I'll take this one. So there are three that really stand out. First is private equity and venture capital. Second is financial markets, obvious. Third, real estate. So in private equity and venture capital, there is always a demand for financing. That's for sure, as usual. Arguably, Russian fintech companies are the best in the world, and this sector always aggressively attracts investments through PE and VC deals.
And what about the currency?
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So the idea here, to tell you the truth, ruble is a really volatile currency. But I don't mean that in a bad way. It's no secret that Russia has high key interest rate compared to Western countries. So if we combine the two, we get a really strong yield. In the previous year, if we take into account October 2024 to October 2025, a foreign investor could have earned 40% easily. So all he had to do was convert the US dollars into Russian rubles, then put that money into low risk corporate bonds, then convert that money back, for example, today, and he had the return. And what I mean by 40% is that this is the return in euros and dollars, not in rubles.
So, if I had invested $1,000 a year ago, how much would I have now?
About 1,400-ish US dollars. It was really an unprecedented return with comparatively low market risks.
Yeah,
But
right.
as
No, that
my guy
sounds-
here always says, you have to consult your own tax, financial, and legal advisors.
Absolutely right. Because it sounds like a pink unicorn flying around, sitting on my shoulders, 40%. Not 14%, 40% from currency, take it here, put it here, buy and sell. Consult your legal, tax, and financial advisor.
He's too old for that.
All right, let's get practical. From a legal perspective, what does the approval process look like for foreign deals in Russia today?
Yeah, as we are talking for the so-called friendly jurisdictions, the rules are straightforward, and it even more straightforward that some can expect. The transactions and deals are done under general corporate and civil rules and legal procedures. It means that the path is clear and predictable.
In practice, that means that if you're from a friendly country, the process looks pretty similar as you would see in other emerging markets. Standard due diligence, contracts, registration, and then you can operate. The key here is to meet the Russian formalities. Every country has ones.
Thank you, guys. It is clear for me. Still, in every market, it has unique distinction. Oleg, please give us some examples of them.
Yeah, I will give one. For
Only
example, one of most important ones.
Okay.
For example, you need to check carefully the dates and the counterparties of the previous transactions. It covers deals with the real estate and securities. What I mean is that you need to check the chain of ownership and the dates of the previous transactions, starting from February 2022, because it may lead to the government commission approval or other sort of consents.
A lot of words, not a lot of meaning here. So I'll try to explain it like a normal human being. So imagine you're a friendly investor and you bought an apple. If this apple was bought from an unfriendly investor after February 2022, that means that this apple is rotten. And the only way to make this apple good again is to get a special government approval. The idea here is that you cannot resell a rotten apple. Otherwise, this deal will be turned around. Apples here are real estate and securities, and government commission approval is the only remedy that can make them transferable again.
Okay, guys, let's get even more into the details. Say, I want to open a bank account in Russia. What's the minimum set of paperwork I need to prepare?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
So it's easy. Normally, it's just the company's charter documents. So certificate of incumbency, extracts from the Chamber of Commerce, passports of the beneficial owners. A standard,
Easy.
a standard KYC package. Sometimes banks can ask for source of funds.
Sorry, KYC no means
Know your customer. Yeah,
Okay.
KYC.
Thank
So
you for
every bank makes those requests for documents. So this process isn't exotic. It's pretty much the same that you'll see in developed and developing markets. Just the same.
And what about language? If I don't speak Russian, is that going to be a major barrier for me?
No, not at all. Actually, you easily can find a law firm working in English. You may provide documents in English or with a certified translation. And Moscow is a cultural and financial hub. It's easy to find a right specialist, a Michelin star restaurant, and a beautiful woman.
Okay, Alex, thank you, you're funny. And now,
Dad jokes.
no, of course, there's still a lot of myths out there. What will you say are the biggest misconceptions foreign businesses tend to have about Russian counter-section rules?
So I would say the first is that Russian market is open, just structured differently. Second is, yes, Russian procedures can be intricate, but they're not uniquely difficult. Sometimes those procedures are even less burdensome and more effective than what you'd see in other emerging and even developed markets. And third, I would say there are no restrictions on capital flows for friendly investors.
Okay, building on that, if you had to name the 3 common mistakes companies are making when entering Russian market in 2025, what would they be?
Yeah, I will try to answer that in short. First of all, it's not checking your jurisdiction status, friendly or unfriendly. Secondly, it's to fail to prepare documents in advance. And as I mentioned before, not checking the dates of the transaction and your counterparties.
Now, let's look ahead. In the next 1 to 2 years, what the potential changes in the legal framework should international investors be preparing for?
I would say that there is a path to simplifying the rules, and we are seeing that path, we're going down that path. So new mechanisms like special accounts are being introduced even for unfriendly investors. In some sectors, the rules are going to be eased in quite some time. It's purely a speculation, but it's my opinion that in some sectors, rules will be eased. So I think that the path is clear here, more accessibility for partners.
Right. I will shed light on that a little. Just recently,
You may.
thanks. Just recently, it was introduced a special type in account. The Bank of Russia allowed the investors from so-called unfriendly jurisdictions to invest new money in Russia, to open accounts, depot accounts, and freely deposit and withdraw those funds.
Okay.
I'm so proud of him. He finally said something concrete.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, you see.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying-
No
you're
disclaimers
making, now
here.
you're
It's
making
just
a lot of jokes on me and trying
it's
to
just
be on the
surprising.
low side, you know?
Okay.
Stefan, maybe you want to do
yeah,
something?
Yeah, jokes aside, Oleg is completely right. So this mechanism is really important because type-in accounts really gave the opportunity to invest in Russia for those investors who did not have that chance before. So one thing that I wanted to stress, type-in account only works if you put in new money into Russia. So not those that were here before. You can find the official Central Bank of Russia publication on the type-in accounts in the description and in our Telegram channel. There you could find more information about those accounts.
Let's wrap up with something Very practical. If you could give one piece of advice to foreign investors planning to invest in Russia, what would it be?
So my advice would be don't go alone. Finding a reliable partner with local expertise who can guide you through the storm can go a long way towards long-term success. Russia is a market with a lot of opportunities, and those who move in now may find themselves ahead of the curve for years to come.
Stefan, thank you so much. Oleg and you.
My advice would be trust. Trust yourself, trust your partner, trust in Russia.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, as we've seen, Russia's counter-section regulation hasn't closed the doors. It's redrawn the map. For investors from friendly countries, this is a unique window of opportunity. If you're considering Russia, now it's time to take a closer look. Thank you for your attention, and in our next episode, we will let you choose the topic in our Telegram channel. Link in the description. Please give us a like and subscribe to get new insights about the business life of Russia.